Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Aisyah Nabihah and today I'll be doing a presentation defending my proposed study for my master's thesis. I've decided to conduct a research entitled Preschool Teachers' Use of Code Switching in English Lessons. My motivation to conduct this research is firstly, I believe that English is an important language to learn as it is beneficial for the current and younger generation. English has become an important mode of communication in Malaysia and in most companies nowadays, English and its language skills are required. We are required to learn English as early as 4 years old up until we are attending universities. However, little attention is given to the preschool sector when it comes to implementing English effectively. I believe that preschool teachers play a vital role in educating the children at the basic level of education, not just helping them to acquire language and develop wider range of vocabulary, but to also instill interest and curiosity towards learning generally. Furthermore, I have decided to conduct this study specifically on code switching because I believe that code switching is a debatable topic where it has pros and cons towards teachers and students in teaching and learning. Therefore, I would love to explore more about this practice by preschool teachers and observe the impact it has on the children's process of learning the language. Malaysia has recognized the importance of English. Therefore, the Ministry of Education has made English as a compulsory subject to learn. And according to the Malaysian Education Blueprint, school leavers are expected to be able to use English in work environments where the language is spoken. However, despite learning English from preschool until the tertiary level, Malaysia still have a considerably low to moderate level of English proficiency. This is quite alarming as despite all those years, it is important to ensure that it is done effectively. Therefore, to mitigate this issue, the necessary improvement requires an exploration into the roles of preschool teachers, as this is the level where most Malaysian children are first exposed to the language. Malaysia is a multicultural country where most of the citizens use English as a second language and other languages such as Mandarin, Malay, Tamil, and more as their mother tongue. Not all children have the same access to the language. Therefore, their vocabulary range and proficiency level may vary. In the class, especially English lessons, there needs to be an interaction between the teachers and the students. Since various language learners are exposed to English at varying rates, it may also present further difficulties for language learning. Therefore, to ensure that their English lessons are appropriate, effective, and inclusive for all the students in the class, preschool teachers need to find teaching strategies to cater to the children at the earlier stages, and one of it is code switching. Studies investigating learners' language development at the school level are necessary because English in Malaysia is generally acquired through formal instruction, that is through school experience. Chang explained that code switching phenomenon started during preschool all the way to adulthood, and Strong mentioned that as teachers have the greatest influence on the teaching and learning process, they have a considerable impact on the students' performance. Therefore, it is vital that teachers are given alternatives and different teaching strategies to ensure effective teaching and learning session to take place. Some studies revealed that scholars and teachers agreed to use code switching in the classroom as it helps to facilitate the teaching and learning session. However, in contrast, the findings of some studies stated that code switching can impede the learner's process of acquiring the language and increase the learner's dependency on the teacher. Since preschool teachers play a vital role in developing students' language acquisition, Yasif states that it is important to investigate preschool teachers' perspective before implementing English language teaching at that level to ensure success. Most studies were done on code switching among educators who teach English at primary, secondary, and tertiary level of education. Hence, it is crucial to fill in the gap by investigating preschool teachers' use of code switching when teaching English. The research objectives of this study are firstly to investigate the frequency of English teachers' use of code switching during English lessons. The second one is to find out the types of code switching used by English teachers throughout their English lessons. And the last one is to explore the functions of code switching by English teachers during their English lessons. The findings of this study will be beneficial and significant to preschool teachers, current preschool teachers, trainee teachers, lecturers in early childhood education, and also the Ministry of Education, as this will give new insights on how to help uh, future educators in this industry to make their teaching strategies varied to accommodate to the students. The setting of the study will take place at two public and two private preschools. This is because I would like to observe the phenomena happening in public and private preschools. And then for the participants, four preschool teachers will be selected. This means that one teacher from one school, and this study will take place in preschools in the Selangor area, specifically Shah Alam. The topic on investigation will cover the use of code switching in English lessons, which also include not just limited to the lesson. This also includes classroom management and engaging with learners, as teachers are expected to just use English throughout the lesson. Therefore, I would also like to see how whether they code switch or not when they manage the classroom and also when they are engaging with the learners. And this study will take place for about 2 weeks and 1 month at most. As for the theoretical framework, this study is guided by two theories. The first one is by Popblack's types of code switching, which are text switching, intra and intersentential. And then for the functions of code switching, I will be using Ferguson's theory, which covers code switching for curriculum access, classroom management discourse, also interpersonal relations. Ferguson's functions of code switching is the most suitable theory for this study. And I'll be using these two frameworks to guide me when analyzing the data later. As for the methodology part, this study will employ qualitative analysis, which includes overt observations, as I believe that I will get authentic data by being in the setting. For the research instruments, I'll be using observations, audio transcriptions, field notes, and checklist forms. The checklist is adapted by a study done by Kongbang and Crabtree. And as for the participants, they will be preschool teachers who are teaching English at public and private preschools in Shah Alam, Selangor. They were chosen through purposive sampling technique based on two characteristics, which are the first one, they must be preschool teachers, and the second one is they must be teaching English. This is because the data um collected through the lessons that they teach, it will be very valuable to the study, as they are the most closest person to this topic, as they are preschool teachers and they are also teaching English. As for the data collection procedure, after getting approval from the faculty to collect data, official letters will be sent to respective principals of the preschools, and then English preschool teachers who qualify as the sample will be identified and contacted to set the time and date of the observation, depending on both parties' availability. Data will be gathered through a 1 hour English lesson through observations. The observation will be recorded for the researcher's reference when analyzing the data, and while observing, the researcher will jot down field notes and fill in the checklist. The data will be analyzed thematically. The recording of the observation will be transcribed manually by the researcher, and the transcription will be reviewed repeatedly by the researcher to ensure the accuracy. As for the frequency of code switching, it will be calculated using a formula adapted by a study done by Kongbang and Crabtree. The frequency of each participant will then be compared and analyzed. For the types of code switching, the transcription will be uploaded to NVivo to be coded and categorized into teams. Data will be divided into three categories according to Popblack's types of code switching. And the last one, the functions of code switching, the data will be categorized according to Ferguson's functions of code switching and will be further analyzed. So that is all from me. Thank you.